What's up, everybody? It's your girl Motewa. Welcome back to the Waliberali Show. Today's topic is mental illness. On my right, on my left. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Motewa. Welcome back to the Waliberali Show. Today we're going to be discussing mental illness, but first I want to introduce our new guest.
Bradley, Alexander Mirisaki on socials.
Okay, man, isn't that cool? I'm just tickled.
Welcome, guys. Okay, guys, so we were just having a conversation just before the cameras went on about how men choose to not take care of their mental health.
So wait, what do you mean by we choose to not take care? Like, do we suppress it? Do we choose to hide it?
Yes.
So
Yes. You guys have this perspective that...
So are we generalizing now?
Okay, but
Yes,
wait,
I'm
before we start
generalizing,
with that,
yeah.
can you give a definition as to what mental health is, or mental illness? Because you said mental illness. So is it mental illness or mental health?
But it's the same
Both.
thing.
It as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mental
So
illness.
mental.
Can you give a definition, a Google definition? I don't have my phone on me.
Okay, so basically, from what I know, mental illness is basically when it could be chemical, it could be because of traumas, it could be because of biology, but it's just when you aren't on the same mental wavelength as a normal conscious person would be. So there's just something not okay. Yeah.
Wait, so if we've been diagnosed, you'd mention to the panel. So I've been diagnosed with ADHD, depression, and anxiety, but that's the chemical imbalance because I find it hard to concentrate, and due to that, which leads to me having anxiety when I find myself not being busy, or depression in certain situations. But there's a bit of that, yeah.
So not finding yourself busy, meaning that you need to be stimulated all the time.
Yeah. So with ADHD, but as an adult, it's classified as ADD. As ADHD is only classified with people who are younger than 16, and ADD is the latter. So not being busy is I have a lot of energy, and not being able to use that energy makes me anxious, as now I'm sitting and then I'm thinking about a lot, overthinking and all sorts. And yeah, so that is the description.
So if you guys were ever to be diagnosed with depression,
Sorry, can I ask you a question? With what you just said.
Okay.
Do you agree with your diagnosis? Do you agree with everything? Do you think you're ADHD? Do you think you're depressed? And do you think you have anxiety?
I don't think I'm depressed, but I do agree with the anxiety and ADHD.
Okay, so
Yeah.
would you say that our health system is very quick to just diagnose people with things that they don't necessarily have?
Essentially, I actually growing up and quite diagnosed myself in what I've heard from people, like teachers, counseling, and therapists in my interactions with them. So not quite, but I feel they actually spend time to get to know you.
How long have you been diagnosed for?
So I was first diagnosed when I was a child in grade 3, but they considered it as a misdiagnosis, and then they gave me Biostrim medication that is not over the counter, but you can get at a normal store. Then they told me, no, it's just growing pains. But now it has led to me leading to in Jan of 2023, I had a mental breakdown, which led me to not be able to function and also oversleep in certain scenarios which are not comfortable. I'd sleep in a taxi, I'd sleep in a mall, and that's my mom always saw it as a problem. So that then
Just
we went
out of
to,
the blue?
out of the blue, I just pass out.
Would that not be narcolepsy or something?
No. But then it's also overworking myself for 3 years. I've been trying to keep myself busy, starting a business, all this, and then also doing multiple tasks, trying to do the most and keep myself in this mentality that I will not stop and I will not be chilling or have time to myself.
Question, right? With the anxiety, okay, have you had what is it called? An anxiety episode?
Anxiety attack.
I've only had an anxiety attack when I was at the mental institution, actually.
What's an anxiety attack? Like
So yeah, panic attack, hyperventilating, sweating, not being able to breathe, which is hyperventilating. Feeling like the world is collapsing on you.
Question, have you, before they diagnosed you and stuff, have you ever been like in like a normal, or you thought that you were in a normal state and you were anxious about something, right? So are you able to compare an attack to like how you feel normally when you're anxious?
I'd say there's different levels to it, yes.
So there's levels to how anxious you can be. Because
Yeah.
like I before speeches and stuff, especially like during high school, I used to if I know I'm about to go up, and while I'm still speaking, like my leg would shake, and I would like control it and stuff. But I think that's just me being anxious or nervous about something. Like my leg would shake like very like, and I wouldn't be able to control. That's why like during my speeches, as much as it did help me to do this, like I would walk around. As much as it did add effect to like my speech and emphasize on certain
Like
points
basically
and stuff.
coping mechanisms and
Right,
helping
like, but I
yourself
would only
feel
do
better.
that as like because I can't stand still.
Sure.
So like I have to move around. So I wouldn't I wouldn't say that I have anxiety. But I think that's like being anxious. So like what's different to me feeling that and like
Anxious is a symptom of anxiety, though.
Yeah.
but anxious is a feeling though.
It's
No,
a feeling. But
Can
Be
I
anxious.
can I just differentiate
Everyone can
between
get
anxiety attacks and panic attacks? So a person who has constant or just like anxiety attacks, there is no specific threat. You're just feeling anxious for absolutely no reason. You don't even know why. You could just be walking down the road and then you get an anxiety attack. You can't breathe. Some people's knees lock. Some people collapse. Some people feel like they're sweating. It's different things. No. But then with there isn't an actual trigger. But then when it comes to a panic attack, there's an actual threat or trigger, something that will make you nervous. So for example, if you have been told that you have a life-threatening disease or whatever, you may get a panic attack because you think about all the outcomes and everything that could come with that. So that is a panic attack. So it's not the same. So anxiety can just be general, and there is more specific types of anxiety.
I mean, I like how you've just mentioned the fact that there's triggers and certain aspects of it. I mean, right now what's been dominating a lot of headlines are individuals like Dineo Ranaka, for example, who has, obviously been quite open about her mental health journey. And I mean, I phrase it as mental health because in general, I think mental health is exactly what it is. It is some sort of a journey. I kind of want to hear it from your perspective, right? She kind of speaks about how, we often diagnose like some sort of mental illness as more something that's triggered by experiences and not an actual neurological disease in essence. Do you think that that's possibly a big problem that we have, that we kind of just see it as something that's triggered by experiences, and as a result we don't really delve into what mental health is or mental illness actually is?
Like with her definition that she gave in the beginning, how she said it could be chemical imbalance, experiences, and other reasons, which is like genetics and all. That's where it comes in, where it's like, for me, it's a chemical imbalance. And feeling like most of my life having to be in school, like trying to study and all that, I don't want to use it as a clutch or an excuse because I'm only going far into this now. And I didn't really know like how it's been affecting me, because I'd have therapy and they'd tell me to explain like when I was writing a test, how was it? Because at some certain points with my ADHD, I am unable to read certain ways or certain things where I have to like learn in a different manner, like in a form of dyslexia. So for me, my journey and growing up with this mental illness or mental disorder, or however like people want to classify it, it's a new experience to me. But to touch on like when people, let's say, go through a traumatic experience, like somebody goes into a car crash and then it leads to them having casual panic attacks because they haven't really fully absorbed that. I'm not quite too sure.
But
I'm
I mean,
not quite
also,
too sure.
you spoke about something. Sorry to like.
Can I
interrupt,
just
but-
respond to your question
Yeah.
quickly? Past traumas can cause a chemical imbalance or an actual like quote unquote dent in your brain. So for example, let's say you had a really traumatic experience with something that is related to the night, right? And every time it's nighttime, you get really anxious. Now, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, your hypothalamus controls your consciousness, whether you're awake or you're asleep. So maybe you had a car accident at night, right? And then that, like, trauma, like you have so much trauma from that it could have actually created a dent in your hypothalamus, and now you can't sleep because every time you think about sleeping, every time you think about the night, you get that trauma and you get anxious. That could lead to a chemical imbalance. So it could be a mixture of the two. It could be either or.
And I mean, sorry, that's actually quite insightful. But I mean, you mentioned something about a misdiagnosis, and I think a lot of people go through that misdiagnosis. I'm going to speak
That's
from
quite true.
a perspective of, as a black person, right?
Okay.
When you enter formal education, primary school, for example, you often go through a series of assessments that take place. And so many black children are misdiagnosed with things like ADHD,
Sure.
or are told that, they have issues with speech, for example, I mean, I, for example, was told that I would need speech therapy. I mean, guys, I speak a lot, man. What do you mean I need speech therapy, right?
Okay.
But I mean,
But that would be things like lisp, stutters, and all.
yes, but things
Sure.
like that, which, I mean, I'm not a child that struggled with that, but I was diagnosed with that. What kind of repercussions or measures are taken for situations like that? Because you've mentioned that you've been misdiagnosed. What measures did you take afterwards,
In terms of measures, that's like where as you said, it's a life journey, and you discover like certain things about you. Maybe like somebody would say something like, for me, reading and being dyslexic, it's not something I've always thought. I've just thought I read things funny and I try my best to read it as
Jesus Christ, bro. What don't you have, bro?
and to understand like. So for me, like, I don't really break down the syllable with new words. I read the whole word as it is and I say it confidently without really knowing that I'm saying it wrong. Then my friends would correct me, no, you're saying it like this. But I always thought like that's just a normal thing. And then at school, I remember in English class when we do reading, my teacher would always like correct me, and it'd become like a whole joke thing, which would also break like self-esteem in terms of reading and all. And when I went to the mental institution, that's where I actually found out, okay, there were actually ways and schools and procedures that I could have done. Like writing, I could have gotten an extra hand or somebody to help me read. Or I could have went to a school for special ed kids. Or I could have be re-diagnosed in high school by a teacher saying, yo, there's something wrong with this child. Maybe they should get an assessment. So there's certain things where I think maybe also curriculum needs to be put in place for not like just when you're young. Because for me, it wasn't even like in class that everybody got diagnosed. They saw, something is wrong with me. Let me do school counseling. And then school counseling came, and then the whole he has ADHD. But then maybe these pills can help. Or maybe he's just being a naughty child in class. So then I did the pills, didn't work. And then they thought, okay, let's give it a few more years, but let's stop the counseling. And then now I'm in this point in my life where I had to go to a mental institution because of my personal reasons. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can.
Have
ask
you ever
a
felt
question.
the need to like commit suicide because of?
No, but that's the thing. I don't think I'm depressed. I don't think anxiety is due to me being still. That's where I'm like, I need to do something. And then I like do rational and spontaneous things. But when it comes to like depression and feeling sad and overwhelmed,
Do you talk to people about that? Like,
yeah,
as men,
I'm
do you
very
guys-
open.
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask that we speak about the mental health of men in general. The reason why I say that men choose not to take care of their mental health because they have this perspective that they have to be men, they have to be strong, they have to not cry, they have to not express their feelings, and then in return it affects them in the long run. They forget that they're actually human and they should be going through those things. They should be crying, they should be feeling, they should be able to express their feelings. And the societal whatever that
Societal
yeah, the social standard or the social norms has brought men to think that. But I feel like that's because of you men.
I'd argue
Can
that men actually do take care of their mental health, just not the
How?
way.
Wait,
let me explain.
Okay.
Just not the way that
women do.
women would take care of their mental health. That's why boys like their boys, like the group. If you have your friends or your brothers, whoever, that's why you're so close to them, because of the way we choose to take care of our mental health. Now with society and how society works, there's not like a lot of institutions or stuff set up for that, so we have to rely on ourselves, if that makes sense. But we turn to each other, if that makes sense.
Can I just answer your question about misdiagnoses? So I'd just like to say that a lot of the time, Black people are misdiagnosed because, like books that are made to diagnose mental illnesses, they're usually based on European ideology and standards.
Yeah, they don't
a lot of
facts,
things,
facts,
a lot of
facts.
diagnoses don't take into consideration African culture or anything that isn't Western. So a lot of those things really do happen. And I mean, fortunately, right now they're starting to realize that, okay, maybe this child doesn't need speech therapy. It's just that back home, this is how they talk. And you just have to work around that. Back home, this is not ADHD. They just know that back home, everyone is really just, hyper type of thing. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way.
I just want to. I've got like
After
two,
that.
both of you. I think as well, because I remember I asked you about do you agree with your diagnosis, or do you think it's like a misdiagnosis or whatever? I think also the main problem with all of this is like the fact that we have to be fit into a box. As kids, we all work differently. Do you understand? Because also not even just in Black culture, every third white child has ADHD. Which I don't think it's not possible. We sit next to, like in primary, we'll be sitting next to kids and they have ADHD, which I don't think is the case. You know what I mean? Maybe your mind works differently. Maybe you just think faster. Maybe you just, doesn't necessarily mean that. So I think we're like very quick to do that, which is very dangerous because then you then prescribe things. Né? Okay, the informed Tao's thing. I don't think it's men's fault, like their mental health and everything. I don't think men are the reason for it. I think a lot of the time, us as women, we don't realize the impact we have as men and how much we hold on men. Do you understand? We're mothers, we're grandmothers, we're all of these things. It starts at home. We teach our boys, I teach my brothers if it's okay for them to cry, if it's okay for them to talk about everything. I teach all of those things. And my husbands, my boyfriends, I need to, you know what I mean? Because most of these men are complaining that as women, we don't give them the space to be able to do that. You cry with that person, and then next time they're out here talking, it's a group chat conversation. Or when you're an ex, you know what I mean?
But it's
As
like
women-
that
That's
because
quite
of the
true, yeah.
social standards that have been set already. Like, if it wasn't for those social standards that have been set already, the women that raise us wouldn't have that mentality. Men have to not cry. Men have
I
to
get
be
that.
strong. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you know what I mean?
But I must say though, like I think he said it nicely. Like we do take. Okay, let me speak for myself mostly. Like, I don't think there's a need for me to take care of my mental health. I think if I am, I don't know if I think a lot of gents do this as well. The best way to cope with something that like you don't want to deal with is you ignore it, right?
Isn't that? Can I just
no,
butt
but
in
like-
quickly? Just a quick
Nah,
button.
cool. So, no, carry on. I'm joking. I was joking.
Isn't that self-destructive?
Nah, because
We're not both
if I forget about it, doesn't necessarily like affect me like that, right?
It affects you in the long run. I won't lie.
Maybe so.
'Cause I can
maybe
relate.
maybe so, right? Because I said this in the other episode. Like, there was a point where I had a dream where like a lot of the things that I suppressed like came to life in that dream, right? And I cried in the dream. Woke up and I realized that, oh shit, I'm actually crying like right now. Let it out for that 5 minutes, but that was that. Like after that, it's chai.
But why?
Like that's like because I don't think
Why do you do that?
because that's just how I have to deal with it. And then also like she said that it is like norms that we were raised up with, right? Cool, sharp. But then where now? Let's say I'm your boyfriend and stuff, right? Don't you want me to be your pillar of strength?
Yeah, but like have moments of weakness sometimes.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I had a boyfriend.
You're not going to be crucified for having moments of
Exactly.
weakness.
I had a boyfriend, and I would literally let him be emotional if he had to be. He was still my pillar of strength. But
I won't lie,
whenever he
like,
had to be like emotional,
That's
I
a
would let
tricky
him.
thing,
But
you
this is
know.
what I'm saying.
But
like,
why do you guys feel like if you're emotional in front of your hand, you're a pussy?
no.
No, but that's quite tricky.
Is he being emotional? But
That's
like,
quite
is he being
tricky.
emotional where you can cry? But I can still be emotional with you. But just
Yeah.
I can have a conversation.
Why can't you cry?
No, I can have a
say-
conversation.
Why
Be like,
can't you
hey,
cry-
listen,
why can't
this
you
is
This is
how
what
I
I'm
feel.
going
Wait,
through.
wait,
But
wait.
I
let
don't
me
have
say
to
something.
tear up.
I think
Why?
people.
But why
forget-
not?
Wait. I
Guys,
think
you
people
know,
forget that
crying
men and
literally-
women are not the same.
Yeah,
No.
we're not
The way we
forgetting
do
that.
things won't be the same as the way you.
We're
do
not
it.
forgetting
but
that.
Wait. Hear me out. He's like he can be emotional, but why does he have to cry?
Because
remember,
you guys-
remember, him being emotional is different from how you'd be emotional.
But listen, guys,
So why would he
we're
have to
all
cry?
human. Humans need to cry.
Yeah, but you're forgetting.
not about
Okay,
men and women.
can I bring in a
Humans are not the
situation?
same humans.
Can I
It's
bring
not
in
a
a
form of healing,
situation?
but it
We're not the same
releases
humans.
some
Okay,
like
carry on.
emotion to a certain
Let's say you're going through a
extent.
situation where you and your girl lost a baby,
Uh-huh.
right? Obviously, the girlie is going to be very overly emotional because
Exactly.
that's a thing,
Exactly.
right? Are you going to have a moment where you're going to share tears together, or are you going to choose to cry in a corner somewhere on your own, in your own
But
thoughts?
with men,
Whichever
there's
way
no crying
is
in the
effective
corner. It's
for the man,
suppressive.
he's gonna do it.
I
And
feel
it
like
won't be
men,
the
it's
same
the thing
way
is,
as
the
a
reason-
man.
crying.
Do you
You
understand?
see, in that situation that Nero put out there, that miscarriage situation or whatever, the woman is most likely to heal faster than the man. Why? Because you didn't deal with the thing when it happened. You didn't let it out. You like
I
acting
just-
strong. Or okay, no, I have to be there for my woman, but also forgetting
I
about
wouldn't say that.
yourself.
At the end of the
I'd
day,
say
it's
they
our
both would
baby.
heal.
I don't think so.
We're not okay. I'm not disputing the fact that you guys have your own way of dealing with things and you guys have your own way of going through emotions.
Okay.
But I don't understand where that idea of when you cry, you're seen as weak.
We are.
That
We are.
But why?
why do you
That's
guys
something
boldly
you guys-
say that? Like, what is wrong with actually tearing up and crying for that moment? We're not saying be a wussy for the rest of your life. That is not what we're saying.
Of
We're
course.
saying I am crying.
Yeah.
This is a dire situation. There's nothing we can do right now but cry. So let us embrace that moment and cry.
Okay, even me as a woman.
Why
right
are you a
now-
wussy?
Even me as a woman right now, if I have cried with you, I feel like you should die. Like,
Imagine,
because I
as a-
don't- to
as a
me,
guy,
that's
I can't
also
cry.
seen as a
Even
weakness. Do you understand?
Why don't you want to see?
You see, that's also
Okay.
standards. Hey, that,
All right.
that-
Okay,
that's
fine.
why because they cannot even cry in front of their
Hold
partners.
on.
Okay, why don't you want to be vulnerable with someone who deserves to see that side of
Why
you
don't
like
you
that?
want somebody to be vulnerable with you?
You know what I think the problem is? I think you guys are shaping. I think also what the problem is with like for men at the moment is like there's a lot of people telling them how to be men. It's like you guys
No,
are
telling us
trying-
how to be vulnerable.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
like you
chat.
guys are trying to shape exactly how they need to be vulnerable and how they need to do it. Men handle things how men are gonna handle
But
things.
in my opinion, it can get self-destructive at times. Sometimes you don't really know how to
bet,
deal
like-
with things. He said,
no.
he
Let me
say-
okay. Can I just say?
Crying every
Can I
day
just
can
say?
also be
That's not the way you
self-destructive.
Can I just say? He literally just said
Yeah.
that he had ignored something for so long and it came back at him.
Yes.
No, no,
Imagine if that happened.
No, hold on. Can I say this? Can I say this?
How did- okay,
Like I said, I suppressed it. I never doubted it. There's a difference.
Yeah, you suppressed it.
No.
You guys
Hear me
don't
out.
deal with
Hear me out.
things.
Hear me out. So what I'm saying is, okay, for instance, right? Recently, for a plain example, is like, so my grandfather passed not too long ago, right? And all I needed to be Jaden drove over from all the way from Joburg, came to Pretoria. We went out and we had food and we just chatted. That's all I needed. Like I didn't. That was my way of dealing with it. Like
That is-
we probably spoke about it for like 2 seconds and was done.
Okay.
After that, I had a good day and I was
I'm gonna give you that
That's how I
benefit.
dealt with it.
Yeah.
And then I think also, you guys feel like crying is the only way or is the best way to be vulnerable. That's not the chat.
Okay, fine. Right. Ne? Even if you think that way, that crying is the best way, at least I know that you're going, like I can see you actually.
But why do you want to
How is that? How?
Why do you want to physically
It's so scary. It's so scary to go through something with someone and they don't show emotion at all. To be anesthetized to the whole situation. To be numb. That is the
understand that.
scariest thing to witness.
Okay,
why
but
do you
no.
want to see me cry?
No, you know.
Why do you want to
No,
see
you know
me?
So that I know that.
Us talking about it is still going through
No.
it.
Like in the abortion or not abortion, in the miscarriage, we still gonna talk and I'm still gonna like get to know, baby, what's going on, and you're gonna give me your things and I'm also gonna tell you. But then the fact that you crying and I'm holding you, but I'm not crying with you.
Okay.
Why's that a problem?
Okay, valid.
being vulnerable.
Right? I'm gonna give you guys that one where you don't have to cry and also we can just chat about it. Right? Thank you for chatting to me about it. Right? Because now I know that okay, you're actually feeling something. You're not
Okay.
just numb to it. All my argument is that whenever you get the opportunity to talk about something and be really in your heart about it, do it. That's all I'm saying.
won't lie.
Tears or no tears, that's
really
just
doesn't
all
end
I'm
well.
saying.
Can I just
never
say
ends well.
something, right? I think I have to agree with Omar. I'm one of those people, I struggle to vocalize emotion in the sense of like crying, right? But I mean that stems from various different things. It stems from my standing in like the whole family dynamic. It stems from various different things. And I mean most men, they probably have that family dynamic as well, where they just feel like they're not in the position to cry, right? That doesn't mean that I don't express when I'm angry, when I'm upset, when I'm do you get what I mean? I could still cry in the corner. I just prefer for other
Your
people
own
not
way.
to see me cry.
Yeah, that's fine as long as you're crying silently. You don't have to cry
right?
with me.
I think going
but
back to
crying, guys,
the whole argument that we're having at hand, and I think this is where you're getting at, right? Cool, men can say that we chat about it, right?
Yeah.
We chat about our emotions. The reality is they don't. That's the reality.
What? That they don't chat
There are
about.
men out there that chat about it, right? But the main issue why they constantly complaining that we as women don't care about their mental
It's
health
because they don't
is
say
because they don't
anything.
have those conversations. And if they did, I don't think that we'd be having this conversation right now.
I saw statistics from 2019 about like men's suicides, and okay, it was just countries, and this is unrelated to what we were talking about earlier. But in Lesotho, it was like 89%
Okay.
of people like committing suicide because of mental health issues. They were not speaking, and it was like a manly statistic.
I'd argue that men speak in a different way. How? Like, for example, me and my boy, right? We had a patch in our business where it was bad and it was really affecting my mental health. And all we had to talk about was our past. I didn't have to talk about what's going on in my head, what's going on. So we just had to talk about our past and how those things identify to certain things. We didn't have to actually go deep into the whole conversation of mental health. That one conversation solved so much.
No, that's
You
valid,
understand?
but that's
No, wait.
that's a situation.
No,
That's
my thing is,
that's a
as
business.
men, we speak about it differently. And the key word is differently. We don't use the same words you guys use. Do you understand?
No, we understand. No, listen, we understand. Listen, we understand that you guys do it your own way. I personally understand. I'm not gonna force someone to
Right.
cry.
Right.
But then again, my chat is, if you need be, do it. I'm not gonna think you're a wussy.
I think
Sharp,
how
sharp.
me, my chat is,
Hey, yo.
my main chat is, men are complaining that we as women do not prioritize their mental health. What is it that we as women are not prioritizing? What is it that you need?
That's a good question.
Yeah, what is it that you need? Since you guys are saying you guys did it in your own
To
way.
understand the difference between men and women. First thing you have to understand.
That is so vague.
that-
For me
Wait,
personally, that's
let me
vague.
explain. The first thing that you need to understand is number one, we deal with things differently.
Right.
Number two, we express things differently. If you can understand that off basis, then you'll understand that if I say the sky is blue, for a man and a woman, that could be, okay, it's a very
Okay,
off-sided example.
is it a turn
But
off?
for-
Is it like
Hold on.
over?
Let me-
Too much? Can I just say this?
Damn.
Is it too much if your Han would be emotionally invested in you a bit much? Like, if she's too much,
Chill out.
yeah, are you gonna tell her to chill out?
Yeah.
If she's too much. What do you mean by
Like
she's
if
too
she
much?
like if she wants you to speak, if she wants you to,
You forcing it
yeah,
on
is
me
that
too
like
much.
a turn off?
So you see with that,
100%.
right?
Is that annoying?
If she's
Yes.
forcing
Is
you
that
to cry and
irritating?
stuff
Yes.
like that, we talk about it.
This is my.
So,
Sorry.
no,
Okay,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I don't know if I'm gonna phrase it exactly the way like you almost said it, but I understood it when he said it. I don't know how to phrase it properly, but he said that this is. I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm saying like give it some thought. How do you guys feel about the fact that a lot of men are now committing suicide and all of that and blaming it on mental illness? And then he said that he thinks that number is going up, or a lot of men are doing that because they are now being told to release or be vulnerable, and now they feel like the only way they can deal with this, or they can't deal with this, so then they kill themselves. Like you guys like
What?
telling
So
them to like
saying how they feel is
no
too much
like
for
like
them.
like now all of a sudden telling them that no,
It's also the rate and
express or
speed
no
that people
feel
want it
and
to
stuff,
be
and
done.
it's like to them it's like
yeah.
damn, okay,
Yeah.
bomb.
And then
like,
also
it's one of those.
pressures,
Like that's how
yeah.
you say. Like,
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying
that's
about
not a
the problem.
fact. That's what you guys
no,
are
I'm saying
thinking.
like,
though.
how do you guys feel about that perspective?
You see, that's what
I
that's
don't
exactly what
think-
I'm saying. That the problem is with men today, for men today, is how the whole world has opinions on how you need to be a man. Do you understand? And they're not given the space or the opportunity to properly handle that. We know as women, like, there are certain things that we just need to do. Do you understand? And we even will cut your head off if you tell us how to be a woman, but we don't allow men the same space to be able to do that. And also, how I think we can properly like attack this thing is if you know the people around you, like if you know the men around you, you should be able to know when something is not up.
yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like for me, for example, if I'm sleeping a lot, you know something's not right here. I'm trying to shut something down. I'm going to bed with it because that's how I deal with my stuff.
Yes,
me kind
that's
now you can see
self-destructive.
Something is wrong. Now you
Is
tell-
that not self-destructive?
it is self-destructive, but
So,
also the people
speak
around
to
me need to
me.
be able to notice because I can't be vulnerable. It's your guys' job to be able to pick that up. No, really, because not a lot of us, especially with men, are
But
it's not
like
gonna
when
come
we
to
do
you.
that, you guys are saying it's too much.
We do it on our own
I
way.
understand
Oh,
that.
thing
I-
is,
You guys
you
are
want a
doing it
pace.
with your-
You want
like,
a pace
you
that
guys
we
are
can't
not
offer.
contradicting yourselves.
No, we're not really contradicting.
You are.
Exactly what he said.
Give me a. Let's hold on.
Okay.
You live with me, ne?
Yes.
Okay, fine. You see, I'm fine. Now you notice that I almost sleeping until 12, 6 o'clock, she's in bed again. Now you know what I love to do. Oma loves to go to movies. Just say, let's go to movies.
Sure.
Take your man for a
Yeah,
soccer match.
do things to
You know,
make us
that's
rethink.
Distracting you.
That's not really distracting. It's also
okay.
making us
And
comfort.
it's
Wait,
just
hold up.
distracting.
I'd really like to
Okay.
say
Like,
something.
okay.
Why?
It literally makes you snap
really
out of
like to say
reality for a
something.
moment. When you go back to that
It's
bed,
not really distracting.
What is wrong with that? When you
Nah,
go back
but
to
like-
that bed, you're still gonna feel the same thing that
No.
you felt before. You are.
You're getting
guys.
us. You're getting us back to our routine and into comfortable environments.
That's
Hold on,
not
let him
everything. Sorry,
Like
yeah,
you're getting us back to our routine and comfortable environments.
exactly.
So us going to that game, to meeting, especially when it's like with our boys, as like the boy, I think it was Jaden who said like, or it was
The boys, he's
the,
the boys.
yeah. So when it's like the boys and you chill for like that small amount of time and you speak for that small amount of time when it's like it's not really like in a woman's perspective. Have a whole cast conversation. Why I'm feeling like this, what I went through, how did it affect me? But then like the
'Cause I think I just
2% is
answered
enough,
your-
and then
what you-
also
what you were
to relating in things that make us happy. Also, that's like a form of vulnerability because now if we go to the movies, we watch the movie, and then later on the movie we're happy, then we can chat about it. Because now I'm obviously outside out of the environment where like I'm no more in the bed, I'm bathed, and I'm already like in a new mind state. But then like also to attack the point is like now I need to talk in a space and a time that I'm not really comfortable at. Now like I must do this on this point. I must now tomorrow I must maybe write a whole paragraph, a whole journal.
Yeah, if
And
you're
I'm
gonna
not
talk
really-
if you're gonna
no,
talk
but
about
like-
it, then yeah.
No,
that's
but-
fine.
Expressing yourself. I just
I
feel
think,
like
I think,
big
I think
misconception.
what we do as women, we sit in our emotions. Do you understand? Like we take, like Mtel was saying that it's taking you away from it. A lot of the time as women, we sit, we dwell, we cry for hours, we cry for days until we like feel actually, okay, now I feel different. You know, now I'm, you know what I mean? Because I can tell myself right now, I can be like, okay, I woke up at 6 yesterday, I woke up today, now I know this is different, everything. Men don't nitpick it. Like we're not this, we don't work the same. So expecting a man to like be in pain and like do everything the way we do it is, you know,
Listen, I want to
Can I
answer
say
what you
something as
said.
well?
You
So
said, wait, I wanted to ask this. I wanted to answer what you said. You said that, what kind of a thing? About the suicide thing. Most of the men that commit suicide, like, it's not known that they've got mental health issues because they don't talk about it. That's the thing, guys. Like,
so no one who has mental health talks about
Yeah.
it.
yes, but like,
Yeah.
okay. Most of the people that, women that commit suicide, they've probably been to mental institutions and they've tried something. The men that commit suicide, it will be a shock. How? We were chilling with him, like all of a sudden, because you guys don't speak about that's my chat. Like okay, it's done. Like they had problems. We don't like exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So your
That is what
chat's-
I'm
your
saying.
chat's actually very valid. But I think
Exactly.
it seems like we're really circling, but the main thing is just this idea that we need to be able to respect people and their vulnerability and how they're able to express that vulnerability, you know, whether I'm able to cry in front of you or cry in the corners, or show you that I'm upset or show you that I'm not upset. But it's the idea that you should be able to, allow for that person to be comfortable, to be vulnerable, if they choose to, and not force them to be vulnerable.
Yes, that's
Give them
right.
the space to,
Yeah.
But to be honest,
I
guys,
think-
in that situation, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with Oma and I agree with you because it's like I know someone, right? Let's say something happens to him and he's like crazy mad, right? And whenever he gets mad, he just shuts down. He just keeps quiet. And then he's like, dude, I'm going to the gym, I'll be back. He goes to gym, he comes back, and then you could see this person looks better, right? And it's like I've learned now not to force him to like, let's sit down and talk about it. I'd rather let him go to gym, and then if you want to come back and talk about it, Joe, if you don't, that's cool as well. But usually after gym, he's like, okay, now that my mind is clear, this is what happened, A, B, and C. Okay, are you cool now? Do you want to talk more about it? No, I'm cool. Oh yeah, let's carry on. Then we can do it. I think the issue is just that if you just completely block out
Exactly.
everything,
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
the issue.
That's what because now it's not fair.
I've learned to like understand and respect that men will not like talk the same way that women do. Because if I go through something now, I'm gonna cry about it now. I'm gonna talk about it now, and I'm gonna be mad for the whole week. But next week I'll be fine. But a guy is gonna find out today. He's gonna go to gym tomorrow. He'll be fine tomorrow and the next day, and then maybe on Sunday he'll be like, "Damn, okay, this is what happened." And then that's. And I've just learned to accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I just thought of now, and I'm not sure if it is like fact, but I can understand. I think guys also like we might not want to be vulnerable with you because maybe the way we communicate how we feel, like it might not just land to you. Like you might think or you might feel defensive about whatever we're trying to say or whenever we're trying to be vulnerable. So we rather like try and like avoid the whole thing. Like let me charge it, let me not even just go there. You know what I mean? So I think also that might also play a role.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah, after this.
Say this.
Do you say?
Can I? I don't. No, wait. I don't think it's just guys. Like Linda, sometimes I do struggle with expressing my emotions because I feel like the next person won't
Understand.
or won't land the same. So it's not just a guy thing. But my chat is now, if you are the guy that killed himself and didn't speak and now I'm like worried. I'm like, I don't even know what I did wrong.
You're putting me into a
exactly.
mental
You're putting
illness.
me. It's selfish to a certain extent.
No, facts. It is.
It is selfish. Because you're not gonna talk, you're not gonna say anything. When I try, whatever it is, all the measures that I try to make, you're not gonna do anything. I give you a space, you're still not gonna say anything. It's not fair. That's what I mean. Where like these guys that commit suicide, most of them they do that. They go into their own little box, and then now we have to now assume, okay, you're trying to deal with things your own way. Hanti, your own way is not working, and you're not talking. Next thing, oh, you pulaili.
Why are you smiling? I think my closing question for the Janes. Do you guys think that you prefer to not talk to the women in your life? Do you guys just want to talk to your boys? Or like
If it was black and
I'm
white
asking
like that.
you guys,
yeah.
would you guys prefer to talk
is
to your
so
boys
crazy.
or would you guys like what do you want?
I prefer to talk to my boys because the reason being is because I don't have to explain in depth. It's more relatable. I don't have to like go into this hour talk trying to explain where I'm coming from. My boys know where I'm coming from. I can get to the point easily. Can try and find a solution easily. Versus other like females, if that makes sense. I'm not saying we shouldn't talk to females. Of course we should talk to females. But if it was black and white like that, I would prefer my boys because I don't have to explain much.
So even if the
Okay,
situation
me-
has nothing to do with your boys, like it's a family thing, it's like a you and your person thing. You're gonna go speak to your boys about our issues.
Because of the
Rather-
point of view, yes. Because they can relate quicker.
What if they
than a
can't?
How about
female.
don't you also speak to your girls?
Are we that bad?
Wouldn't
just-
you
no,
not?
but like
Wouldn't
it's
you
a black
also
and
speak
white
to your
thing.
point of
girls?
view. This
It's
is
a
his
black
point
and
point
white
of
thing. If
view.
it was black and white, I would choose to speak to my
I think
boys.
this question
But
relates to
obviously
everybody,
right
to be
now-
honest.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Like,
No, but then she's
But
asking
no,
on
cool.
terms of mental illness and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
I get
she's
you, I cool.
from that perspective,
So
right?
okay, you know what? Everybody answer you as well. Answer my question.
would you speak to your girlies or who?
Yeah, guys, this is the last. This is the last
Yeah.
thing, isn't it?
I speak to whoever I feel comfortable speaking to. And I mean, that can be either my partner, depending on the situation, or it can be my friends. I don't
So
have.
it's situation dependent.
Yeah, it's situation dependent. I don't have the boys that I have to stick with. And I mean, I don't judge gents for having the boys as long as you're speaking to someone. But at the end of the day, don't blame women. Don't blame women if mental health isn't addressed properly. When we as women are
Have
there,
given you the
and
platform.
we have given you the
They
platform.
have to start the
But we're not
conversation, basically.
Speak. How do you? What do you? How do you? Yeah. What do you
Okay.
prefer?
Just yes or no. Do you
Oh
give
my
you?
God.
No, it's a yes or no question.
Let her
Relax,
finish.
calm.
Okay, let's get the question done
It's just
first.
a first part question. Just a yes or no
To everyone.
to her only.
Okay.
Have you given the platform to the male counterparts in your life to express themselves?
I feel like I have. I feel like I'm trying to. I'm trying to learn to. That's why I'm asking these questions. We need to be able to learn each other like this.
Okay.
Yeah, then you can
So how do you?
answer.
How do you?
That wasn't
How
rocket
are you
science,
vulnerable?
fuck.
Me.
The question that you asked. Yeah.
That you asked.
Did you already forget your question?
Yeah.
If it was black and white,
Girls
yeah.
or the gen or like like.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, cool.
I think it's
With me-
situation dependent.
Okay. With me, I think I keep to myself until I'm calm and out of the emotions, and then once I'm able to talk to you guys, like talk to whoever without feeling the need to like cry or like be overly explosive, then I'll speak to like it'll probably be like my mom and then the boys, and then after that I'll speak to my aunt. Like, that's just how it is.
Me, most of the time when I'm going through something, it's got to do with a partner or family stuff. So, yeah, I take time off. Like me, I'll tell my friends ages after. Like no one knows. Like I'll tell my friends ages after. Like, but the people that are involved in the situation are the people that I would rather speak to about the situation.
For me, situation dependent.
For me, it's with my boys, but after getting a point of view and also discussing and dissecting everything, would be to the people involved.
I'm just situation dependent. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning into this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below what you guys think about mental health and mental illness. We'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Love still.